Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pies presser. Last night, opinions were split down the middle of the line when it came to talks around Mason Cox's name and selection for the game against the Crows. We're going to talk about that. Predicted 23, looking at potential lineups that we could see and opposition matchups going into the game on Thursday night. And it's just a whole bunch of finals footy talk tonight. It's time to talk all things black and white. Good evening, everyone. I hope we're all doing super well. You love to see the chat working overtime before the stream even starts, and that's when you know we've got the best crew going around. So I appreciate you all. I see you, Melissa. Benny Zero right on time, beaten by the Bruzzer, 6 p.m. on the TIT. Welcome, Teresa, Southeast Wolf, Chris, Talbot, Badri, Voidoid, Joshua, Jacobs. We're all here. Appreciate you guys, and we're in for a good one tonight. Like I said, we're going to talk about Mason Cox a little bit more because admittedly, guys, I'll be honest, yesterday I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you guys, surely you guys are with me on this one, and maybe it's one stretch too far to throw in Mason Cox into the mix of all of this, and then here I am putting in the poll thinking this is going to be a waste of time. The outcome's obviously going to be 80-20, don't play Mason Cox. And then I put it in, and as I'm going on my tangent, thinking in the back of my mind that obviously everyone's going to side with my opinion on this one, I'm glaring over to the poll and I'm seeing 50-50, I'm seeing 60-40, I'm seeing a tug of war. And I think we're all a little bit conflicted about the Mason Cox conversation, so why not extend it into tonight? Why not talk about it even more? Because there is a problem. Herein lies the problem, and that problem is Mark Keane, Adelaide's strong backline. You ask yourself, can we bring in Mason Cox to potentially provide some sort of aerial nuisance for players like Mark Keane, who's one of the top interceptors in the game, both at ground level and aerially. Then you got Josh Worrell, who does his thing on the floor. And then I saw Teresa early. I saw Teresa earlier in the stream saying, well, what if Mason Cox takes a couple of marks inside forward 50 early in the game? Is that all Mason needs to activate finals footy mode, to activate beast mode? Is that what he needs? Like, do we need to see, does Mason Cox need a full game to get his confidence back? Or is it a matter of just clunking one mark, kicking the goal, running into his the player who is on the mark for the set shot and getting into him after the goal? Is that all he needs to lift? Is the question I'm asking. Finished coaching early. Hate Missy Live. No, I appreciate you, Benny. Manny's in Greece, Chris. His papo's not well, so he's just going to see his papo. So Manny's around. We were a little bit concerned about Manny's whereabouts yesterday, but yeah, he's in Greece at the moment, so he's all right. Don't worry. And for those who are wondering, Manny's okay. For those of you who weren't here last night. What are we saying? Thoughts on the Collingwood Football Club organising buses to South Australia after tickets have sold out? Is that an issue, guys? Is that an issue that Collingwood are organising buses to South Australia? Because in my mind, I was putting together the idea. It was a rough draft, and we spoke about it, I think, on the weekend. We spoke about the potential of organising a bus ourselves and going to South Australia without tickets to the game. And then most of you said, "Oh, well, look, it's a Thursday night. It's in Adelaide. Some of us don't have tickets to the game. Maybe it's not worth our trouble." So I don't see it as an issue. I like the idea of getting as many Victorians to South Australia, even if that's to be at a pub, to dominate the pub. Like how intimidating could it be, or would it be, if you're a local Radelaide dude and you're going to your local pub and you are outnumbered against the black and white at your local pub in Adelaide? I think that's pretty cool. You just take little things into it, and it's just energy. It's all energy, and You can manifest it. You go to the pub. You outnumber people at an Adelaide in their hometown. I think that goes a long way. And if you're superstitious or you like manifestation, I think that's a good way to do it. But do you guys have any dramas with it? Any dramas? Stewie Peter says Mason Cox was clunking them in Gale wins the VFL last week. 9 contested marks. Did he actually take 9 contested marks? Or are you blowing wind up my backside, Stewie? I know. Look, for me, Mason had a really good first half in the VFL last week, and then he sort of fizzled out, as did most of the team, to be fair. And he kicked a really nice goal on the run. I don't know. Are we creating this false narrative? Are we as fans in the Pies footy community creating this false narrative that Mason Cox is a serious chance? Or are we just generating this conversation and maybe it hits home at Pieland and maybe they go, well, geez, if Lloydie and Carey and Pies fans are begging for the selection committee to consider Mason's magnet, maybe that's doing something, perhaps. Let's see, contested marks. He took 3 contested marks, which is still very good, but take it with a grain of salt. That was against Williamstown, who were a play-in side. They're a VFL side. They don't have an AFL affiliation. He had 3 score involvements, kicked that nice little goal. How many touches did he have? I know he had 20 touches the week before, which is massive. How many touches did he have this game? Big Mace had 12 touches that game. And 3 tackles, 31 hit-outs. Just the 1 clearance. Let me turn off this heater. I've got 2 heaters cooking at the moment. Joshy says, VFL defenders are shit, so hard to compare to AFL level defenders. And look, guys, we're going to do something new. We're going to do something new tonight. When we do the Predicted 23, we'll complete that. We'll go through all the potential ins and outs and positional changes. And then what we might do is we might discuss potential matchups directly. So I'm curious to see if you guys would like that. I might even put a poll because I don't want to waste your time if you guys don't want to do it. Do you want to discuss matchups, direct matchups across the ground in the Predicted 23 at the end? So, and bearing in mind, guys, we know it's a team game. One player or one matchup isn't going to make a difference, but there's all pieces to it. These are pieces to the puzzle that must be factored in. All right. Teresa, thank you for the 5. All Cox has to be is someone their defenders worry about. And I don't think there's a game that goes by, Teresa, where if Mason Cox is featuring at AFL level, there's not a moment where the opposition defenders aren't sweating. And you see that because, truthfully, Mason Cox gets impeded a lot and probably, I don't know how to put a percentage on it, the umpires probably missed 30% of the times that Mason Cox is being held for a free kick inside our forward 50. So that is, I keep saying that's real, and I've got that from Fly now. So now that's just, when I think of something that's like a possibility or it's a reality, now I just submit to the word real. I like it, but I feel like a copycat as well. Maybe it's time to go to the thesaurus after this show and find another word. But anyways, I digress. That is a reality. The fact that Mason Cox gets fouled and doesn't get the free kicks for them. There's a lot of non-calls when Mason Cox is there. Problem is, he just doesn't have his kicking boots on his goal kicking boots anymore. Like let's have a look at his career to date. We'll do that. But when Teresa said early in the stream, all Mason Cox needs is one big moment just to get to get up and about, to quote unquote, to lift. He just needs one moment's lift. I subscribe to that idea that Mason Cox is a massive confidence player. most players, if not all, are confidence players, but there's levels to it. And he would be extremely dependent on clunking a big mark, kicking straight, and then, as I said, celebrating in the faces of the opposition. So we'll go here. I want to talk about his... Okay, so we know, yes, all right, he's not clunking them as much. I think he was a top 20 player last year for that. He's not kicking as accurately as he was early in his career. Let's dive into this. Let's have a little look at an overview of his career. So debut 2016, and really had a purple patch. Obviously 2018, we know what that was. Let's have a look at his accuracy across his career. Push this over a little bit. So you look at, like, let's say when he played these 3 seasons, 2018, 19, 20, 52%, 57% shots. Shots are important. So he's always been around that 50% mark. He's peaked at 77%, which is unbelievable. But in saying that, that was just 11 games, not a massive sample size. But you look at 2023, where he's played 19 games, he's averaged a shot and a half per game, and he gets a 54% return, which is decent. But then look at this, guys. Look at this. It's a far cry from then to now. 35% accuracy in front of goals with 1 shot per game when he typically does have an opportunity to play for the side in the last couple years. And then even, like, guys, with stats, right? See how many games Cox played in 2024? Normally the more games you play, the harder it is to keep a high average. So when you look at Mason Cox, who's played 8 games and he's averaging less than a contested mark per game, but in 2024, where he played double the amount of games, he almost doubled his contested mark return this year. So then you look at, say, this season, 2020, 11 games, 2 contested marks, 8 games in 25, less than a contested mark per game. So he's down in so many facets of his game. Not intercepting as well either. And then if we go to his ruck craft, is there anything else of note here? I want to go ruck craft. So his hit out to advantage. This is a really high return for somebody who attends a fair, like a decent. I think he attended over 45% of the center bounces last season. So this is a really good return. I think it's like top 5, maybe even top 3 across the ruckman, across the ruck board. And then to drop that to 23%, he's not winning it as much. He's playing less games. His averages are lower. That's 30, like down by 33% there. It's just, he's just down everywhere. Absolutely down everywhere. And he hasn't had those big games where he has had in the past, like the Richmonds, the GWS. It was at 5 goals early in the season. 2 goals, but he had a bunch of touches, didn't he? Yeah, 19 touches. So what about goals? I think, have we visited this before? Melbourne, Brisbane, West Coast, a little bit earlier in his season, but he's obviously developed that rack craft, which has made him a very valuable member of the club at times. So you guys do want to see direct matchup conversations, so we can do that. That's fine. No dramas at all. Benny, thanks for the 5 gifted Pies Footy memberships. Welcome, Roger, Rocco, Chris, Nut Nugget. Love that. We love a Nut Nugget, don't we? Where are you, Nut Nugget? Who was the one below Nut Nugget? Darren Fenn. Welcome. Could we have Cox in the side and go with Bobby the sub? This will allow us to change up if needed, if not working. Let's you know what? Let's go into the predicted 23 and we can go into that conversation. And DMR, we'll do I see your message. We will do a finals predictor after this predicted 23 as well. So we'll do that if we have time. All right. I'm going to do my introduction to the predicted 23. If you guys are new to the channel, firstly, welcome. Secondly, I typically will do the predicted 23 in a live stream, and then I'll post it as a post-production video as well for people who can't catch this live and just want like a Pies Footy bite. like a 10, 15-minute video rather than those of you, those Collingwood tragics in the chat right now who like to watch me spitball for an hour every night. So, all right, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the predicted 23 for the game against the Crows in enemy territory. The last week has been incredibly dull without the footy. We found a way to persevere, and now we find ourselves here on a Monday, and we're, 3 or 4 days away, 3.5 days away from our, meeting our fate on Thursday night. And we're here to get an idea of what the predicted 23 could look like going into the game. Now, this is not gospel. This is more of a rolling predicted 23 as we've come to terms with how difficult selection can be on a day-to-day basis within the game week, really. So we start here on a Monday. We'll bring in what we think is our best look going against the Crows, and then as we hear about how main training goes on tomorrow, captain's run, Fly's pre-game press conference, we'll get even more of an idea of what's possible with match selection. But we start here on a Monday. Let's go. So what's been really impressive and what's been otherwise quite dour 6 weeks for our side is how strong our medium-sized defenders have been when we've been up against it. And I'm talking about leading from the front is Harry Perryman. We got Pez, that's his nickname for those who are wondering. And then you got the Bruz, who's has had a great year. He's had a great year by the numbers. He's had a great year by the eye test. We are needing Darcy Moore to lift to another level. He didn't do anything wrong against Melbourne, I felt, but he only had 7 touches, and I think he had 2 intercept possessions, which is not what you want from your skipper. You want maximum impact from Darcy Moore, and I think what better time to do it now in Adelaide in a qualifying final where we could find ourselves very well in the box seat for a prelim final if our back 6 can nullify the dangerous forward line that the Adelaide Crows possess. What can you believe we are saying right now? What would we be without Billy Frampton this year? Because I'll tell you what we would be with Billy Frampton this year. Let me put his name to the side for a second. Look at this. Let me show you something. I'll tell you. Without Billy Frampton, that's what we are in our back 6 with Charlie Dean there. That spells cooked. We would have been cooked. All respect to Dean. Tries hard. He's an AFL player, but he's just not good enough, unfortunately. And we saw that in games against Fremantle. Any game he played, he was a liability besides the Richmond game where he was playing against kids. So for those who are wondering what we would be without this man, Billy Goat, the franchise, some of you guys have dubbed him, we wouldn't be much. We wouldn't be much, I'll tell you that for sure. So we keep Frampton there, Darcy Moore, centre-half back. And then, is there someone else that plays half-back flank? So this is where we talk about our exclusions, our outs for the game. Did Alan play? Did Alan play against... No, he didn't. It was Rowan Steele, wasn't it? Yeah, so Alan played in the play-ins against Williamstown, so he's not actually listed out. And then Jeremy Howe, did he play against Melbourne? He did. He popped his groin in the first quarter or second quarter. So our first in or our first discussion is it Will Parker? Yesterday we spoke about this. Is it Will Hoskin Elliott or is it Ollie Markov? And what we'll do is we will do a poll. We shall do a poll. Let's do this. Who is in for how? Parker, you're fired. Hoskin Elliott and Markov. Is there anyone else we can consider? Probably not, huh? Probably not. So I think they all offer different values, and I think there's a fair conversation there to be had. So I think without just assuming that Will Parker is a walk-up starter, or even though he had a really good game against the Crows in Adelaide, which probably is the biggest indicator of who will play in lieu of Jeremy Howe on Thursday night. Can I get my chat back here? Goodness. Bloody hell, mate. Come on. I want you there. I'll put you there then. I suppose I can put you... Sorry, guys. My chat is just like... I can't get my chat into the tool. Anyways, never mind. Hoskin comes in. Parker, you're fired. Parker, you're fired. It's quite unanimous, it seems, in the chat. 64% to Parker. 30% of you are saying Will Hoskin Elliott potentially, and it just depends what you're looking for. We spoke about it yesterday. This conversation between whether we'd like to see a Parker or Will Hoskin Elliott. I think they bring different values, but ultimately it's the game that Parker had against the Crows, and we were all very surprised when this guy was dropped for the game against Melbourne. You think when you play against lesser opposition after having a really good game against great opposition, you've pretty much kept your spot, but that wasn't the case, unfortunately. All right, I got my chat back where it needs to be. Spider-Man in. I'm going to watch Spider-Man after this, mate. Fucking gold. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it's good. I trust my barber. Who's the barber? Who's the barber, Benny? Has to be Parker. Will Hoskin Elliott is cooked, and Markov is done. Parker is the talent. Just back him in, and that's the other piece to the discussions we've been having, guys. Is you play Parker in these games, these high octane games with high pressure, like he did against the Crows in that a couple weeks ago. It goes a long way. Like if we're going to invest in the future without foregoing the present moment, I think Parker's a really good fit for that context. He's ready, seemingly ready enough. He has composure. When Parker had that game against Adelaide, I think back to finals series in the past, and someone who's played that position before, John Noble. I remember, I feel like if I go back to Geelong 2022 qualifying final, was that the one we lost? I think it was that was the game we lost against them. And I just remember Noble shitting the bed. And I go, okay, that's the difference between a halfback flanker who can accumulate the footy but is fumbly under pressure. Parker was not fumbly under pressure in that game against the Crows. And although he only had 10 touches, it was one of the best 10-touch games you could get from a Category B rookie who's still finding his feet at AFL level. So I think it is going to be Parker, guys. So Parker is the call. So we'll give him the green light. Not a lot of Markov love. Chris, by the way, Greatness called you in the Discord. I'm not sure if you saw it. Greatness called you a jacked up Oleg Markov. What do you think about that? And to be fair, the angle of the photo in the Discord, I can kind of vibe with the fact that you kind of look like a jacked up Oleg Markov. So that was funny if you're in here. Anyways, moving on. Let's have a look at, well, firstly, Will Parker will be here. And then, obviously, Josh Dacos, halfback flank, will probably rotate through the middle at times. I think Houston on the wing, we just have to persist with that. That's when he had his first game on the wing, and that was against the Crows. And I think he's our guy. I think he's our guy on the wing. And I don't know if we're willing to risk him in the back half. I think set him free on the wing and get him kicking going inside forward 50. Funnily enough, somehow kicking inside 50, you bear less responsibility or bear less pressure, perceived pressure, kicking inside 50 than you do from your back half at times. So I think that's why Houston forward center is going to be a more confident player rather than relying on him kicking the ball inside or from our back half. Can Oleg just be the cheerleader for us? I hope he travels, Emma. I hope he travels because he's a great energy. He's an energy ball. Who's the other winger? Jack Crisp, who's had a really, really strong last 2 weeks. Kicked that massive goal against the Crows. He's just got that clutch gene. Like he was the finals player for us in 2023. He's one of the highest rated all-time finals player in the AFL. I think he's, guys, do you remember that stat? I think he's second. Amongst, since Champion Data's come in, he's the second highest rated player in finals games. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's up there, but he's not too far away from being number one. Speaking of finals players, goodness, as Pommy would say, this guy really turns me on when he's fit and firing the way he was against Melbourne and the way he's just been working his way back into his former self. We all had reservations and doubt in whether we could get the best version of De Goey in this final series. We saw against Melbourne, he really can be a 2023 Jordan De Goey final series type of player again. I really wasn't expecting that at all. I had no expectation or hope that he would be that guy. I was happy to settle with 20 touches, a goal, or play deep, have 12 touches, kick 3, maybe 4 if you're lucky. But we really could get like a 30-touch game from De Goey where he kicks 2 or 25 and 2. Like that is the form he's in. That's the fitness he has to play at that level. It's what you want. So De Goey right there. DC will do DC things. He'll have a massive job on Riley O'Brien. We'll talk about McStay and Thilthorpe as well, which is going to be a matchup that's not going to be in our favour, that's for sure. Nicky Dacos, ready to go. Trained on Sunday. Will probably train tomorrow. He's been managed from time to time, from week to week, but he's trained the whole week, so he's looking like he's ready to go. Pendles, I mean, goodness, sometimes it has to take your 37-year-old veteran to change the momentum of a game where you're staring down a barrel of finishing outside of the top 4 against the D's in that fourth quarter, and he just says, hold on, been here, done that, put me in the back line, give me the footy, I'll slice you open, get on my back, guys. We're going into that top 4 and we're travelling back to Adelaide and we're getting this one back, and that's what Scott Pendlebury did for us. Thank you, kind sir. Forward line. Bo, we are assuming, brother, you are going to be running up and down, and your foot's going to be just fine. And if it's not, just get a jab or two, and we'll worry about your foot in the off season, my brother. We're too deep into this season to have you miss, and because you're not 100%. I'll take Bo McCreary at 70% right now. Myercheck, vindication time against Mark Keane, my friend. McStay, same goes for you. Lift. Manny told me to tell you tonight you need to lift. Jamie, just keep doing your thing. Keep persisting, keep presenting. You've got a couple in you. Hello to Mick, welcome. We'll talk about you, Mason. Don't worry. Shooter, great season. Keep it going. Members, love that. Members. Okay. Bench time. Lipinski. Okay. First question. In the poll, let's ask the question. Lipinski, who will be the sub? So let's go Steele. Let's go Lipinski. Maybe we can throw in a Ned Long. Is there anyone else we need to consider? Maybe We'll throw in Parker. What have you say about that, my friends? Checkers will kick a bag. I can feel it, says Teresa. Keep it up. Keep the manifestations coming. Roman says, hey, Mr. Wallop Roman, why play Steele as sub? He runs a marathon every game. I agree, but it's not going to come down to his running capacity. That's what's not in question. It's like, who's going to have the composure to play in this high octane game? Who's gonna give you the most? Like, his running he will give you that, but footy it's a ball sport. It's a ball sport game which requires, and he has the skill to kick the ball, especially going inside 50. So I can appreciate that, but he's still very green to the AFL environment. We have 100% win rate with Lipinski as sub. Hello, anybody? It seems like we're leaning towards a Rowan Steele as the sub, 41%. Lipinski not too far off it. Just saying. And we'll keep it rolling. So we'll go Rowan Steele sub. We'll keep that as is then. Fine, no stress. Apparently McCreary has a broken foot. Will not play. McStay dropped for Cox. Early news. Fake news from you, my friend. Fake news from you. I'm not copping that. I'm not copping that on my Monday evening, my friend. Let's go Sidey. And who's the last one? Ooh. All right, I'll do it one more time. Here's the last and probably the most important structural decision we need to make. I'll put it in a poll. So Rowan Steele, confirm sub. Okay, done. We'll end that poll. And then the last one. Who takes the final spot? Mason C. Dan, Mick, stay or go? All right, who takes the final spot? Now let's find out. Because yesterday it was like 60-40. We want Mason. So let's see if you're bold enough to put your money where your mouth is and tell me here and now that you'd select Mason Cox over Dan McStay right now. Hey, Mick, Bo trained yesterday at the open training session. He did some run-throughs. He was more or less working with the rehab group. So we'll find out more tomorrow for the main training session whether Bo will be available for selection. Oh, shit. Okay. A lot of Mason Cox lovers here, I must say. It must be noted. It's 60-40. Guys, get your votes in. This needs to... I can't... Oh, okay. It's a roller coaster, this poll. Dan McStay over Mason Cox says blue bagger. Welcome. You can play them both and drop Steele. I'm not open to that idea. Guys in the chat, are we open to playing both of them? I can't agree with that. I think Adelaide will kill us at ground level if we do that. They will murder us. Full Deck says McStay over Mason. Cox is VFL filler. Teresa says she loves Mason. We all love Mason, Teresa. Well, not all of us. Not all of us. Bobby Hill, late inclusion as a sub, says Rocco. Cox is a flop. Cox can be floppy sometimes, can't he, Stefanos? True? All right, I'm giving this poll another minute. Another minute. We'll do a countdown. Another minute. 3, 2, 1. We've started the minute countdown. Dom says if we have another 70 inside 50s, which, by the way, extremely unlikely, we need Mason 100%. Cox and Hyphen to come in, says Fareed. They killed us in the air last time. I know that's not what you said, Mason. I'm censoring myself. Cox won't be amazing, but better as second ruck, says Rome. We're mindful that Mason in the ruck in 2024 and 2023 he's him, but in 2025 he's not, but he's probably still better than Mick Stay in the ruck. Cox was a great player. His best is a long way gone. Those picking Cox clearly haven't seen his recent form. I think we're trying to turn a blind eye on his recent form and hope that if he takes a big mark and has some really good ruck duels, that's all he needs to reignite his finals ability. So that's sort of the mindset we are leaning into around this Mason Cox conversation. We've gone a minute 20. And guys, it's Mason Cox. Mason Cox in, and it's Mick Stay to go. Mick Stay is now Mick gone, according to you guys. So, democracy wins. Democracy wins. We're doing it. This is where we start. This is where we start on a Monday evening. We're going to settle with this. Hey, for those of you, in the post-production video, if I get roasted in the comments for selecting Mason Cox, I want you guys to have my back, yeah? Because I'm putting this guy is in because of you, because of 54% of you. And I'm telling you what, the post-production comments, the pre-recorded videos, the comments there, they're not as kind as they are in the live stream. It's a different world over there. It's a cold world in that comment section, guys, at times. You're going to get some vicious people coming into the comment section to roast me. So I hope you guys are there for me when I need you most. Jumped over Gorn's head first bounce. Mason doesn't need to do much to get back in form. Just put him in the goal square. That's the idea where we're hoping we can lean on. He doesn't need much form, and his VFL form was solid in 23. What are you talking about? Are you talking about me, Shawnee? I was saying he was good in 23 and 24. I thought he was great in 23 and also in the back half of 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the predicted 23. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. And as always, go Pies. Okay, that is the recorded video for the predicted 23. All right, let's talk matchups, huh? Let's talk matchups. So let's go. Let's do this, right? So who gets the assignment? Who does Quaynor get the assignment on? Maybe we'll do orange for... What if we have a look here? Looking at Adelaide's side, looking at their forward line. I mean, Zach Taylor... Did Quaynor play... Quaynor wouldn't... He doesn't play very high. So... Did he play on Neil Bullen? Neil Bullen tends to play quite high up the ground as a high half forward. So I'm not sure if that's the matchup. Zach Taylor? Who does Quaynor play on, guys? I mean, maybe Ben Keys? Is that what we're saying? Keys, maybe? Something like that. That's probably a matchup we're going to see. You'll deal with him, Vic Parkstyle. Appreciate you. IQ on Keys, maybe. I think that's probably the one, right? It's Josh's 150th game this week. Really? Q would have had Rankin. He would have. That's true. Maybe Michael Annie, heard he trained as a forward during the week. This is really hard when you don't know the other side very well. It's very hard to figure out the matchups. But can you guys see this clearly, by the way? Like, how are you guys watching this? Can you see this orange font, or do I need to make it white? Pez. Yeah, see, I'm not overly keen on doing this matchup thing. I'll be honest. I'm not going to do it because it's just too tricky. How are we going to narrow that down? Like, there's obvious ones. There's Frampton on Thilthorpe. There's DC on Riley. There's Mick Stay. Oh, actually, sorry. There's Mason Cox on Thilthorpe in the ruck. You got Dan Houston and Jack Crisp, who will need to do a number on Dan Curtin, who is a great aerial player. Pendle's on Dawson at times. His first quarter at the Adelaide Oval a couple of weeks ago was astonishing. Nick was good. DeGoey didn't have the biggest game against the Crows, did he? So off the back of the game against the D's, I think we're going to get a different version of DeGoey in this game. Myercheck on a Mark Keane. Did Worrell play on Jamie Elliott? Lockie Schultz. Yeah, it's far too confusing for sure. Like outside of those ones, I'm probably not willing to really discuss any other matchups because it's always a moving tale, isn't it? It's always a moving tale. Dom, if you're in the chat, Dom, did you say you were going to send an email to me? I feel like you said you might send an email. Just let me know if that's something you were intending on doing, or because maybe I've missed it. Maybe it's in there. Maybe it's in a junk mail, or maybe you haven't sent it. So just let me know. White is better. I don't need Matthew Lloyd to tell me Cox is proven in finals and McStay has been a passenger for 2 months and the forward line is much better when McStay is not in the side. From Josh Jacobs Membury, Worrell was on him. Interesting stat, Blue Bagger. No side has won the flag from 4th position this century. I mean, that's just, it's really all that is. It's nominally, it's just a stat, and that's all it is. Because I mean, like Brisbane won out of the 8, out of the 4. Sydney Bulldogs won out from the 4. So as long as you got the double chance, I think, guys, I genuinely think this year, more than most years gone by, you need that double chance because you look at how superior the top 8 has been relative to the bottom 9 or bottom 10. It's going to be unbelievably difficult to win 4 games in a row in this final series. You need that double chance. Like, you look at everyone's records, most teams are splitting the difference in the top 8. Most teams have gone 50-50 against those within the top 8. So that's why it's critical. Why it was critical for us to secure top 4. Let's have a look at this finals ladder predictor. Let's do this. Predictor. All right. Can we go finals? How do you go finals? Is there a finals predictor? Oh, yeah, here we go. Sweet. Need the Pies to complete a good week after Heidelberg. I saw Heidelberg, Mick. I actually played with Yaron, the keeper at City. So yeah, Yaron Souza, the goalkeeper. Good lad. Good character. He's a Turco, but we love him. Okay, let's go here. Share screen. Let's do this. All right. So what are the potential paths to number 17? Say Collingwood, say GWS, say Freo, say I rate Brisbane here. Say Adelaide, say Geelong. Okay. We seeing that, guys? Are we seeing that? Potential Collingwood Geelong at the G prelim final. Or the long way around, we'd find ourselves against Brisbane. Wow, at the Gabba. That would be tough. And then you got that. Or potentially that. Okay. So we know what we're dealing with. If we lose against Adelaide, we're going to have to do it the long way around and we're going to have to beat Brisbane in Brisbane. Or if somehow Geelong beat Brisbane, we could find ourselves against Geelong at the G. Or we could face Brisbane. We could face Brisbane at home. I would prefer in a prelim final. I'm probably saying give me Collingwood and Geelong at home, but really, give me any matchup. Give me any matchup besides the one at the Gabba. Ideally. News to me. Funny. Cats beat Lion changes things. Yeah, it does. Hot take, but I reckon Crows out in straight sets. Well, D's, the thing is that they don't have the experience, the finals experience. So we could see this, Geelong, Collingwood. I mean, so what's a straight setter? That would be crazy. This would scare us thanks to the 2019 prelim final. This would scare us thanks to them being our bogey team of recent times. Yes, Hawthorn. Look at that. I don't fancy that. I mean, I'll take it. I will take it, but I don't fancy it. So only way we meet Fremantle, guys, is in a prelim final. That would be gorgeous. Only way we meet Fremantle is in a prelim final. Okay, would love that. What else? And that's pretty much all the permutations. I mean, the Gold Coast, you can do that as well. I'm sad it's September. Footy's almost... Teresa, don't worry. Postseason's going to go crazy here. We'll be streaming. We'll be talking about it. We'll be here every day. It's going to get crazy. Postseason gets wild. I understand we'll miss the part where we get to see the boys play, but we can look forward to next year and what that brings us. That's always exciting. And sometimes, guys, come on. You know, what do they say? Distance makes the heart grow fonder, don't they? They say that. You know, you gotta treat us mean to keep us keen. You can't have footy around the clock. You can't. You get over it. You can't have too much of a good thing. Look at the NBA. They give you 80 games, and then by the end of it all, players get injured. It's too much. It gets boring. You get sick of the referees. You get sick of players resting. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. What do they say? Moderation is key. My mum used to tell me. Fuck that, saying give me more football. Give me play-ins. Give me in the pre-finals bye. Give me play-ins like they do in the NBA. Pretty simple. Lipinski owes a Magpie army with the shift of laser passes hard ball gets. Who plays on Cox if he plays? Probably. Fuck. Murray or Butts. Butts isn't playing. It's maybe Murray or Markeen. Maybe it will be team defense on him. Like, how can you possibly put him 1-on-1? He won't play 1-on-1. If he's 1-on-1, Mason Cox could have a field day. Dom, sorry, mate. I asked before. Did you respond? Dom, were you intend? Yeah, okay. I'll get that. Okay, awesome. No dramas. Sweet. Saw your message. No dramas. No. Let me overdose some footy. There's never enough. What Prem team do I support? Unfortunately, D's, I support Man City. But I've eaten. Like the Richmond dynasty, I've had my fair share of success with Man City. So I'm happy for a Liverpool or an Arsenal to do their thing for a little bit. It's okay. The buy round is so bad. I almost watched the NRL on the weekend. What was I doing? I watched A-League. I watched like the Australian Cup. I watched local soccer. I played soccer. There was no UFC, spewing about that. So there was no UFC. There's no NBA. I did watch the AFLW, the Pies and the Ds. I did watch that. That was admittedly that was quite exciting. It was quite a strong finish, and there's some serious players in that league. That Hore, not WHORE, HORE, Hore, what's her name from the D's? Pause. Hore, she's a gun. Is she Marty Hore's sister? Is she Marty Hore's sister? She's a gun. Benici had a fucking cracker. Ella, though. Ella, though. I got my footy fixed by watching. The Legends game was okay. It was okay. Don't know why they aligned it. They tied it up with the AFL awards. Makes zero sense. Like, a Fox Footy and Seven, are they really in that much of a biff? Is that why they put them against each other? Like, just makes zero sense. I might watch that weird sport where they play basketball on a trampoline. Kate Hoare. I think it's Kate Hoare, yes. Kate Hoare without, it's Hore. Okay, just so we're clear. The bye was good to recuperate and prepare for the battle. Yep. Bit of time off is always okay. We've been staying busy here though, guys, haven't we? The team that wins the grand final will deserve the premiership flag this season. 100% Stephanos. As obvious as that and as simple as that statement is, it means more this year because of how difficult the top 8 is to navigate. Like we said before, it's been 50, 60% win rates for most teams, and or less for teams coming up against each other in the top 8. Benici is always so good. Didn't even know the Legends game was on. You love the face slapping Olympics. Are you talking about UFC power slap? Is that what you're talking about? All I used to hear was Ella watching soccer. Yep. Ella de Malacca. Boys, shout out Manny. Pies win Granny and Aussies win Ashes. I'm concerned. I've never gotten around the cricket. Like, I can bear with watching like a high profile 2020 Big Bash game, but I can't do test. I can't do series or whatever it is. I just can't do it. It's the one sport I truly just cannot get around. And golf. I can't watch golf. Who knows? Maybe as I get older, maybe I'll get around golf. I don't mind having a swing at the driving range, but that's where the buck stops. Daughter loved the match, asking for more. It was a great game, Benny. It was a great game. She would have been over the moon, Benny. Oh, besides the fact that we didn't win. So, yeah. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I've got to edit the predicted 23 video, and we'll see you tomorrow for another stream at 6 p.m. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please or consider subscribing. I'm not going to beg you to subscribe. We want people here who want to be here, but also leave a like before you leave. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Pies.